A very good evening and welcome. This is News First Weekend Primetime News here on MTV Sports and Shakti TV. I'm Ramesh Tiruga Bandara. Well, the West Indies thumped Pakistan by 150 runs at the Christchurch Hagley Oval to pick up some much-needed confidence and momentum to heap the pressure on a troubled Pakistan. Sports First has the details of the World Cup encounter, but before that, let's start off with a look at your headlines.
Operations to rescue foreigner who fell off World's End successful. Actions not being taken against corrupt individuals. Allegations leveled by political party representatives.
යහපාලනය කියන්නේ මිනිස්සුන්ව ගස්වල බැඳලා ගහන එක නෙමෙයි. පුකිරීමෙන් පසුව ඔවුන්ට දඬුවම් ලබා දෙන්න ඕන.
නා පාර්ලිමේන්තුව ඉස්සුරු වරින්න 23 වෙනිදා රැ. එයි pension එකට දින 4ක්ම.
Allowance for expectant mothers to supplement their nourishment starting from next month. Minister Rajna Sena Ratne elaborates on the objectives for the country's future.
Our top story tonight, a foreign national who slipped off World's End was fortunate to live another day thanks to the valiant efforts undertaken by the Singha Regiment of the Sri Lanka Army and the Sri Lanka Air Force who rescued him. El Martijn of the Netherlands was the individual who had a brush with death.
Coming down the side right now!
Dutch national Martijn and his wife had visited Noor earlier to spend their honeymoon. It's been only 6 days since they tied the knot to be known as the newlyweds. He had met with this unexpected fall when he attempted to photograph his wife upon their visit to World's End. Moving backwards, he had fallen over. Local and foreign tourists had heard his cries for help within minutes of his fall. Martijn, who was clinging on to a branch of a tree of this 40-meter steep cliff, was kept calm throughout the ordeal by a foreign national who was among the visitors to World's End.
So my job was just to talk to him, keep him calm, keep him steady until the police arrived, or the military arrived, thankfully, and they did an amazing job. Yeah, the military Air Force arrived and did an amazing job in making sure that Martijn could come back up.
Local and foreign tourists took off their winter coats and made a rope of it and directed it down to the clinging Dutchman. Our correspondent said that Martijn experienced his ordeal for almost 3.5 hours until a rescue party arrived at the location. Locals from Namperial Watta in Balangoda, which is incidentally the bottom of World's End, had witnessed this incident. The rescue party of the Singha Regiment of the Sri Lanka Army was led by Lieutenant Colonel Amita Pereira. They were also assisted by the Sri Lanka Air Force through the process. Under the advice of Lieutenant Colonel Amita Pereira, Corporal Sudesh Lalinda had roped down the hill and successfully saved the life of Martijn.
Come on, Sudesh, well done.
The Sri Lanka Army also noted that one Air Force personnel too had roped down to assist in the rescue.
Can we go by car to the hospital?
When I came there, they were taking pictures. I told them not to go to the edge, but they did not listen. There were around 7 to 8 people. His wife took the photo, and it was when the husband was going to take a photo, he fell to the other side. It is then around 100 of us removed our jackets and tied them together for him to hold on to.
Dutch national Martijn, who survived this ordeal, was admitted to the Noor Elia Hospital.
It took us 30 to 35 minutes to reach there. If we got any later than that, he would have not been alive today. As any army personnel, I am very happy that we were able to save a life and the fact that he is a foreigner. I think this, as a country, we can be proud of. I thank the army commander and the other respectful military officers for their constant support.
After receiving treatment, the rescued Dutch national, together with his newly wedded wife, did not forget to visit the soldiers who saved his life and appreciate their valiant rescue efforts.
Are you happy? Oh yeah. Thank you very much. He's the gentleman who. Yes.
It's a very special honeymoon at the moment, but definitely a day that I want to forget, because at World's End I fall down the rock, and it's not. It was very scared and very painful as well. 3.5 hours, the longest 3.5 hours of my life. The only thing that I could think of is my wife, Linda. And yeah, also want to thank our chauffeur, because he was very, very good when I was pulled up by my rescue man. I was very thankful for that, and I'm very happy that I'm alive and not fell down further.
We will always remember him.
Yeah. Yes.
We will always remember him.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to the news. Leader of the JVP, Anrukumar Dissanayake, speaking at a public rally in Panudura yesterday, elaborated on the current government's existence.
These will not last for long. This will end when the President, majority in the Parliament and Prime Minister are all in one side. Before that happens, there are some things that need to be done. Some ask from us, this cabinet is not good, is it? No, it is not. All those who came to support Maithripala Sirisena prior to the election have been given ministerial and state ministerial portfolios. If more crossed over, there will be more positions. If you have to do those things, this serious matter will never be addressed. The President is the leader of the SLFP elected from UNP votes, while the UNP Prime Minister is elected from the SLFP votes. SLFP majority has the opposition leader. Therefore, this situation is favourable for us to abolish the executive presidency that had created a dangerous situation for us. When will the 100 days be completed? On the 19th of April. If that is the end of the 100 days, Parliament needs to be dissolved on the night of the 19th of April. However, the agreement is to dissolve Parliament on the 23rd. Why is that? Because of the pensions for the MPs. There is an attempt to raise the fallen Mahinda Rajapaksa. Who has started this? They are not like trees, they are like vines. Though they are a plant, they cannot grow alone.
On related note, leader of the Jansetha Peramuna, Venerable Battaramulle Sila Ratanathero, convened a media briefing today and raised allegations over the delay in taking action against corrupt persons.
They are struggling because they cannot catch the big shark. There were ministers who brought in alcohol, narcotics and ethanol. What decision was taken regarding them? All the files are opened, but not one was produced in court. No one was remanded. The people are waiting. Both sides seems to be in equal numbers. The police posts in Mankulam were removed. Who was aware of this? And who was made aware of this?
Deputy Minister of Policy Planning and Economic Affairs, Dr. Harsh De Silva, met with the residents of Nugegoda today and visited their houses.
A handbill distribution program to raise awareness amongst the locals of Pagoda Nugegoda also took place.
Good governance does not mean tying people to trees. They need to be punished after they are found guilty before the law. We have taken the required steps. So by tomorrow or the day after, the police and the judiciary will be capable of sending one or two of these perpetrators to their due place.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister also attended academic prize giving in Moratuwa last evening. Group including Dr. A.T. Aryaratna were present for the event organised by the Sarvodaya movement.
The 50th anniversary of the Sri Sugatanandarama Historic Temple in Pahalayagoda Ganemulla was marked today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena.
The President also declared to open a new two-story building in line with the 50th anniversary of the Sri Sugatanandarama Historic Temple in Pahalayagoda Ganemulla. The building was constructed under the advice of Venerable Padaya Kadwe Rahul Thero.
Paul Gassa Paul Vanantara Mama Hadan Etikenik Matahima Hadanavan Janadviti and Kali.
I am a person who does not make family trees or family forests. If I want to do that, I would have done it before becoming president when I was a minister and parliamentarian for the past 25 years. I have instructed my working staff, including my secretary, that I will not grant appointments to Buddhist clergy as my personal staff. My policy for the sake of reviving Buddhism is to receive the advice of the three chief prelates of Buddha Sasana and through that appoint an advisory committee where the bhikkhus will advise the president. This advisory committee will be a voluntary committee, not a committee that will be given a salary, vehicle or other excess money.
A group of senior members of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party paid homage to the temple of the sacred Toothwelke in Kandy today for the first time since the appointment of its new board.
Subsequent to paying homage to the sacred Toothwelke, the group of SLFP members called on the chief prelate of the Malwatha chapter, Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thero. The party members explained to the chief prelate on the party's future course of political actions. The party's General Secretary Andra Priyadarshana Yapa and National Organizer Susila Premachanta spoke to the media thereafter.
We will stand as an opposition. We have agreed to support the government in its 100-day program, especially in amending the constitution. So this concept of national government lies somewhere else. If a national government is to be formed, it should be formed together with all the parties in parliament.
Views were also expressed on the election preparation.
Any political party decides on who they will field as a prime ministerial candidate once the general election has been announced or later. There is more time. We don't know for sure because the government says that they will announce it on the 23rd of April. So it is uncertain because with the time it takes to amend the constitution, the dates might change.
Rosi Senanayaka, the State Minister of Children's Affairs, says that the allowance of 20,000 rupees for pregnant mothers to supplement their nourishment will be provided starting next month.
State Minister Rosi Senanayaka made this comment at an event in Narahimpita last evening, which was attended by officials from the Ministry of Children's Affairs.
The issue we had was what to distribute through Satas or the cooperatives, or will be given an alternative to the pregnant mothers. A problem amongst the majority was that will this 20,000 rupees be given at once.
In order to provide allowance to pregnant mothers, as mentioned in the interim budget, details were collected from 4,000 maternal clinics involving 7,000 midwives. This initiative will be monitored by the divisional secretariats.
We have decided to provide 2,000 rupees per month. This will be given with regard to the nutrition. This 2,000 rupees will be given until childbirth and beyond. Mothers after birth face iron deficiency and malnutrition.
The State Minister went on to note that all measures have been taken to initiate this program.
We have reached a decision to ensure that the 2,000 rupees is given to pregnant mothers. The first sections will be given on the 18th of March.
The Newsfirst Gunmother program, which provides a platform for the public to take their issues directly to their public representatives and public officials, was recorded live in Galimbinirava today. The 15th edition of Gunmother was recorded on the banks of the Alut Divulvava.
Well, as you can see, there are scores of people gathered here for the recording of the 15th cycle of the Gammadda program in the village of Galin Bindunuweva, Aluddiulweva, Anuradhapura, a beautiful village sitting in the middle of the Anuradhapura city. Well, here we got many people who at the grassroots level have come here to direct their questions at the authorities in order to resolve them. And we've got two high-ranking government officials, one at the provincial council level, that is the Chief Minister of the North Central Province, Peshra Jayaratna, and the Minister of Agriculture and Irrigation, Duminda Disanayake, here present in order to listen to the grievances of the people.
The Gammadda program is an initiative by News First to bring together people and decision makers onto one platform and have the people's grievances responded instantly. The locals who took part in this edition of the Gammadda program in Galin Bindunuweva raised issues faced with selling their paddy harvests. It was also announced that the soybean harvest had dropped as a result of low-quality seeds given to them in the recent past. In addition, issues on common facilities and irrigation were also raised. The authorities agreed to provide immediate and long-lasting solutions to these issues. News First also paid heed to a humble but sensitive request that was made during the Gammadda program.
මගේ අම්මට තාත්තටයි අමාරුයි අයියාට අමාරුයි මගේ ඇස් පේන්නෙත් නැහැ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොනවද උඩ ඕනේ අම්මයි තාත්තයි එක්ක මේ හම්බෙන්න එන්න මාව මම බේචෙන් උදව් කරන්න ඒ නිසා සන්තෝෂයෙන් හොඳට ඉගෙන ගන්න මම උදව් කරන්න හොඳයි
The child said that he doesn't have any eyes to see and that he's a grade 2 student, so he asked for an eye. I'm 56 years old, but I'm willing to give an eye to this child. I thank the Silks Media Network for helping me to commit this meritorious deed.
Paving the way for a child to gain his sight, the Gammadda program moved even further to render its services to the people in Galin Bindunuweva. In line with the Gammadda program, Minister Duminda Disanayake also initiated a road development program in the area.
A father and her daughter were run over by a train close to the Kandy Court complex this morning. The Office of the Police Media spokesperson said that the two victims were run over by the train while they were walking along the railway tracks.
The father had left the house in the Panbok area in Udunuvaral with his daughter at around 8 this morning to take her for a grade 5 scholarship tuition. According to our correspondent, the father died on the spot while the daughter passed away upon admission to the Kandy hospital. 10-year-old Vidushi Dulmini is the only daughter of a family of 2 children. Her father, 44-year-old Nishanta Bekon, is a member of the armed forces.
Fishermen from several villages in Kalpitia refrained from setting out to sea today in a mark of protest against the use of illegal fishing nets.
The group of fishermen from Kalpitia who refrained from setting out to sea today also hoisted black flags. The fishermen then commenced their demonstration. They charged that a group of fishermen had engaged in fishing activities using an illegal fishing method known as Laila Suruku over the past week. The demonstrators blocked the Kalpitia Palavia road for an hour and a half.
They started screaming to use the Laila Suruku. At that time, the other boats of ours tried to escape. They then tossed the dynamite close to our boats. It fell into the water. We escaped because of that. People are killing each other in the mid-sea. Those on land don't understand this.
The group subsequently dispersed after the police who arrived at the scene assured them a discussion with the relevant officials on Monday. Minister of Fisheries Joseph Michael Pereira ordered the Ministry of Fisheries today to strictly implement the law against the use of illegal fishing methods.
A felicitation ceremony for services rendered to peace and reconciliation by Minister Rajitha Senaratne was held in Colombo yesterday.
Minister Rajitha Senaratne was presented with a medal and an award at the ceremony organised by the Peace Foundation.
The first thing which I confronted former President Mahinda Rajapaksa was on the national issue. I spoke fearlessly within the party. I was isolated, but my opinion triumphed. I stood strong. I stood strong for that policy. If this country is to be taken forward, the racists and extremists should be eradicated from this country first. This country cannot be built with racists and extremists. When we are born, the only right we had was humanity. If that humanity is to be given away for the sake of race and religion, then it is disrespectful to all humanity. We can build the pride of Sri Lanka together with the pride of all Sinhala, Muslim, Tamil and Burgher communities. There is no other alternative. This is why we fought for good governance. Your expectations are to capture all those who brought into ethanol and drugs, the thieves and murderers. As per the law of the country, they should be arrested fast. And these arrests should be fast without being lenient on them. If you be lenient or flexible, we will have to get onto the streets with the people to show our position, even if it means opposing our government. If this program was organized about 3 months ago, it would have been a joke. Problems will arise as to why such peace foundations haven't even got close to areas where minorities in the country haven't gained peace as yet. However, there's good governance now. With the initiation of such peace foundations, minorities, especially the Tamils, can live peacefully in the capital.
Beauty fades and it's your heart that influences people's lives. These are the words of Miss World 2014, Rolene Strauss. Newsfirst Joel Outschoon caught up with Miss World 2014 for an exclusive interview today.
So beauty comes with a purpose. Do you believe in this?
I've seen that if you meet someone, they either become more beautiful or less beautiful. Yes, the first impact, the first impression is important, but the heart comes out and the heart makes the beauty flow outwards. And at the end of the day, what gets left behind? Beauty fades. It's about your heart and about how you influence people's lives and how you made a change. So we live by the saying, beauty with a purpose.
Beauty with a purpose. Well said. Moving on again, if there's one word, what would you call Sri Lanka?
I would say Sri Lanka cares. As soon as I arrived at the airport, the people were just so excited to see you. They gave flowers. We had drums. We had, at the end of the day, a country is made by its people. Yes, by its beauty as well. It captures someone, but the people makes the visitors want to come back. So I would say that Sri Lanka cares.
And also, what was the significance? Whose idea was it? What was the significance in getting a global figure such as Miss World 2014 to get herself involved in this initiative?
Taking this brand global, taking the country global, and the beauty with a purpose comes in with people like Miss World coming in terms of actually taking this story out there. When Miss World comes to a country, the country gets featured in the global platform with a positive story, and then you see how beauty with a purpose links into this whole project.
The full interview with Miss World 2014 Rolene Strauss will be aired in the near future on Newsfirst. On to other local news now. A fire destroyed over 400 acres of a mountain located in the Ambuluapa Biodiversity Complex in Gampula. District Secretary of Kandy, Gamni Senviratna, said that the spread of the fire was contained by this afternoon.
Within the forest reserve, even when the fire department of Kandy reached the Ambuluapa Biodiversity Complex. Locals in the area said that the fire that was reported from the foot of the hill last evening had spread to the peak as of this afternoon. Later, the police, Sri Lanka Army and the area residents undertook a joint effort to douse the fire. As fire trucks were used to douse the fire wicks were also used to contain the fire. A correspondent in the area said that slopes in the hill proved it difficult for firefighters to reach the fire, and dry weather and gusts increased the spread of the fire. However, the spread of the fire was contained by this afternoon, causing massive destruction to fauna and flora across 400 acres of land.
Former Army Commander Daya Ratnayaka officially bid farewell to his 35-year career in the military today. A special event was organized this morning to mark the occasion.
Lieutenant General Daya Ratnayaka, the 20th Army Commander of the Sri Lanka Army, was accorded a military guard of honour at the event. The Kandula elephant, the mascot of the Sri Lanka Light Infantry, the unit in which the former commander served in, was also included in the military parade. Marking the handover of duties of the army, the official army sword and sceptre was presented to the new Army Commander General Krishanta de Silva. Later, Daya Ratnayaka spoke to the media.
I will pay gratitude to all the senior officers, junior officers of the Sri Lanka Army and all the war heroes who supported me to reach this position. I am also pleased to hand over duties to Major General Krishanta de Silva, with whom I joined the army. I wish him all the best.
Another phase of the program to nurture the nutrition needs of children in Mathura took place today in Kamburupitiya.
Nutritious food packs for underweight children were provided under the Samadhi Kakula Suwasatha program today, presided by MP Buddhika Patirana.
There are those who continue to look at the work done by others in a negative manner. Now they are saying that a country without Mahinda is like a beetle without a chunam. This is the cancer of corruption and fraud spread from the mouth to other areas because of the chunam collected throughout the past 10 years. If this continues, the patient known as Mother Lanka will die.
An event organized by the Assistant High Commissioner of India in Kandy was held yesterday.
The event was organized in line with the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Day and International Students' Day. The event was attended by the Assistant High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Radha Venkataraman, Governor of the Uba Province, M.G. Jayasinghe, and State Minister of Education, V. Radhakrishnan, as the chief guest.
Until the recent past, even in Sri Lanka, tea was one of the major crops along with the rubber that contributed a larger portion of the foreign exchange. When these labours were brought to Sri Lanka, the British government paid certain amount of money under the Indian Emigrants Ordinance. In that sense, we have made profit for three countries, India, British and Sri Lanka. Your Excellency, I am certain that the Indians would not even know that there is a community in the central hills of Sri Lanka and they are of the Indian origin. So I kindly request you to take this message of the Indian Tamils in Sri Lanka across the India.
On the sports news now, of all the contests in the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015 so far, the one between Australia and Bangladesh in Brisbane was perhaps the most lopsided, with the host starting out as the clear favourite. The match was not played today as a result of bad weather and both sides were awarded a point each. Meanwhile, Sri Lankan cricket captain Angelo Matthews says that he would be fielding his strongest side in their clash against Afghanistan tomorrow.
The Sri Lankan team took part in their final practice session today ahead of their second game of the World Cup against Afghanistan tomorrow. Aware of the repercussions should Sri Lanka crash out in the league stage, speaking to media, Angelo Matthews said that the team was engaged in their practices mainly focusing on their shortcomings. He added that more attention will be focused on the fielding department.
Definitely we are playing the full team. The best possible 11 will be on the park tomorrow because every game is important for us. Whether you play Afghanistan or Australia, every game is important. So we'll take every single game very seriously and we'll play the best 11 possible on that day.
Speaking to Sports First, Sri Lanka team manager Michael de Sois has said that a final score for tomorrow's game will be decided on after taking into account the weather prevailing in New Zealand. The clash between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan will commence at 3:30 Sri Lankan time tomorrow morning.
A top-order batting implosion by Pakistan saw them slump to a record defeat at the hands of West Indies. Set 311 to win at Christchurch's Hagley Oval, they could rather reach only 160 runs in 39 overs after Jerome Taylor led the rout in front of a crowd of nearly 15,000.
Pakistan won the toss and asked the West Indies to bat first. The Caribbean side innings was found on 50s to Dinesh Ramdin and Lionel Simmons. Darren Bravo retired hurt on 49 and Russell needed just 13 balls to crack 42 not out at the death. Pakistan helped the West Indies effort by dropping multiple catches and their quicks dropped too short. Harris Sohail finished with figures of 2 for 62 and Irfan was the most economical with figures of 1 for 44. The day couldn't get any worse for Pakistan as at the end of the fourth over, Pakistan were 4 wickets down with just 1 run on the board, the worst start in ODI history. No other side has had so few runs to show for the loss of 4 wickets. Canada previously held the record at 4 for 4 against Zimbabwe in 2006. When Andre Russell replaced Taylor, he had Pakistan's skipper Misbah-ul Haq caught at slip for 7 and they were 5 for 25. A 6-wicket partnership of 80 runs between Umar Akmal and Sohaib Maqsood was ended up when Darren Sammy got Maqsood to chip one to Sulian Ben at mid-off. Taylor finished with figures of 3 for 15, Russell 3 for 33 and Ben 2 for 39. Holter and Sammy took 1 wicket each. The 150-run win eclipsed the West Indies' previous biggest margin over Pakistan of 133 set in Sydney in 1992.
In more cricket news, Trinity College and St Thomas's College battled it out for the Ranil Abenayake Memorial Trophy. The match was played in Mount Lavinia and saw the home side post 309 runs for the loss of 3 wickets in their first innings, to which Trinity replied with 222 all out. When play was stopped today, batting in their second innings, St Thomas's College were on 171 runs for the loss of 4 wickets. The match ended in a draw. And that's a wrap of Weekend Primetime News for tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Bandara. Good night.